We've got shepherd's pie in the broiler right now, everybody. Also, hey Logan, hey. Shepherd's pie is a classic dish with browned lamb meat and a rich gravy with mixed vegetables, some delicious herbs like rosemary, sage, and thyme, topped off with some whipped chive potatoes. We have our potatoes. This should be about 4 pounds of potatoes. We need 3 pounds peeled. Just go ahead and split these lengthwise, like chunks about that big. Large chunks of potato. I've turned that heat up to high and we're gonna bring our potatoes to a simmer. Talking about the lamb filling, a white onion right here. We've got 4 garlic cloves in our ramekin, 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 20 ounces of beef stock, a 1/4 teaspoon of dried rubbed sage, teaspoon of fresh thyme leaves, a tablespoon of chopped fresh rosemary leaves. We also have 2 pounds of lamb and then 16 ounces of mixed vegetables. We're taking off the stem end of our onion, then we're gonna trim up the root end, give it a little haircut. See how little I've taken off the end right there? It holds the layers of our onion together when we go in. You see how they all connect up here to the root? That'll keep our onion in one piece while we do our rainbow cut. Thin slices, always facing towards the center of our onion. Note that I'm not going through the back end, close to the root. I'm leaving this like last half, 1/4 inch, closest to the root, intact by not slicing through it. That is what's keeping this all together in one piece as I'm cutting it. Perpendicular to how we had it before, and then cut it into 1/4 inch dices. Pop, just to loosen the skin. We're gonna be mincing these up finely. Here we have our rosemary, got our fresh thyme on sprigs. I'm just gonna take and pull that in the opposite direction that the leaves of thyme grow out from. Rosemary, and our thyme leaves can go in. 2 tablespoons of oil. And then once it's browned and rendered, we're gonna be throwing in our onions, and in that rendered lamb fat, we'll be taking those to a translucent, not really looking for any color. Then we're gonna add in our tomato paste and do a method known as pinçaging. When you pinçage, it's just caramelizing the sugars that are inside of your tomato paste. And then we'll add in our garlic to cook quickly for about a minute, then in goes the beef stock. And all that fond gets lifted up off the bottom of our pan and incorporated into our sauce. This is the power of caramelizing tomato paste, people. We need to lift all this fond off the bottom of the pan. If we leave it there and we don't scrape it, it's just gonna burn, as we said before. Add in our herbs, frozen veggies, and then let's go ahead and add in our slurry. Turn my heat down to low here and just allow it to simmer out. All we need to do is turn that on very, very low and let that butter melt. These are just gonna be fine little specks all throughout our mashed potatoes. We're ready to pull these, folks. Coming in hot. Which I'm gonna put into the pot. Ooh, yeah, I always like to melt my butter and heat up my milk before making my mashed potatoes, because otherwise you're just cooling it down, and especially if you intend to serve your mashed potatoes immediately after, you're just adding cold milk into your potatoes. Coming into play is gonna be our chives. They use a little bit of salt. Okay, we'll turn on the broiler on our oven. 500 degrees to do it, and make sure you have a rack in your oven that's set up in the middle part. We got our piping tip down at the bottom of the bag here. We're just gonna take and we're gonna cuff the top part of our bag. Makes it easier to fill it up with our potatoes. Big old bag of potatoes. A little spray with some Pam. This smells so good, guys. And then just spread this out in an even layer across your casserole dish. You can just pipe that directly into my gullet now. Done. Hot! It's so hot on my hands. Give me a light dusting all across the top. That looks delightful. Quite the successful class. I am extremely happy with my shepherd's pie that we made here with you this afternoon. Next week is gonna be our spatchcock chicken class. You can check out all of our equipment guides and recipes and class guides that come along with every class for free of charge on Ingrediology.org. If you'd like to help support our efforts to cook better at home, then you can go over to our Ko-Fi page. Thank you again, everybody. I appreciate you, and we'll see you here next week on Ingrediology.